Greetings from Mel.
Greetings from Sim.
It is our pleasure to have you with us for another B.O.O.K podcast moment. B.O.K, our book, also known as Building Our Own Knowledge, is a co-created cloud for interrogating, finding, making, and sharing experiences and knowledge on our own terms.
This podcast is brought to you by the labor of love of B.O.O.K working group members Sim Mendes and Melisandre Varan. The music carrying us through is by B.O.O.K working group member and commissioned artist Samir Saunders. Samir brought their sonic waves to its final form by reading All About Love, New Visions by Bell Hooks. We thank our loving ancestors for using our beings as vessels.
We hope you whine or wave with this DIY podcast as much as we do.
Nice. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the technically second iteration of the B.O.O.K podcast.
B.O.O.K.
B.O.O.K, Building Our Own Knowledge, a co-created cloud. It's a quick introduction for Black artists, curators, facilitators, and the like. And yes, we are here today with Hang Linton. My name is Sim Mendes, pronouns they, them. I am the book artist liaison, and I'm here with Melisandre Varan. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Yes, so I'm Melisandre Varan. I'm operating as B.O.O.K artist curator. I'm a co-parent of wonderful Eol, soon to be four years old. A lover and extraordinary partner to Sim. And I guess like a friend to Lex. Mm-hmm. Or Lex is my friend. Let's see what Lex gonna say.
I'm definitely your friend.
And yes, so we've invited Hang Linton today to join us. Would you like to do like a quick introduction?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name's Hang, or as Mel embargoed, also Lex. It's okay. My name's Hang Linton. I am pronouns they, them. I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I'm from London. I lived in Berlin for like 8 years, which is where I sort of like definitely experimented with my artistry and started to learn all the fabulous skills that I have today. And then I also met my partner, Laura Lulica there, with whom we share a beautiful 21-month-old child called Sid. We now live as a unit in Leeds, and we're just caring for each other and assisting in everybody's growth. And that is lovely. That's who I am. What do I like to do? I care about community building, eating good food, and video games and music. So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Love all the complexity of you, and I love the fact that also you said, and then I'm not stepping, but you said the things that you care about. Maybe we should say things that we care about as well. I love that.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it was a very cute intro. I don't know, I feel really emotional over the past couple of days, and it made me emotional. Don't ask me why.
Because it's extraordinary.
Yeah. Okay, so for showing things that are important to us.
No, it's what are the things you care about?
What are the things I care about? And also, as Mal wanted to do placements, I can share mine before I share what I care about. So I'm an Aries sun, Pisces moon, Sagittarius rising. Yes, ouch. And the things that I care about. I care about collective growth and evolution. I care about the stripping back of illusions. I care about the truth. I care about caring. I care about how we show up for one another. I care about spiritual mind expansion and just tearing off layer by layer to come like the purest forms of ourselves. Yeah.
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah, me
I
too.
like that.
So, Melissa speaking. So my placements, I'm a Pisces Sun and a double Libra. So all cuteness and together. So what do I care about? I care about my family, and my family is composed, as I said, about with Aeol and Sim, but also with Jay, our co-parent, my co-parent. I care about, in front of me, I have like those aloe veras that are finally growing in a healthier way. So I care about them so much. I was very happy to come back to them and see how they grew without me. They grow a bit better without me for some reason. I care about, I care about collective actions, collective artistic actions. I care about all things touching sticky questions, the body, and my favorite place in the world is inside Sim.
I know you didn't expect it to be this kind of podcast, but
Are we like late night podcast?
like past watershed, you know,
Exactly.
only at midnight. Well, thank you for sharing. And Lex, I know that you've already I know that you've already shared what you care about, but you can give your placements if you so desire.
Yeah, sure. I am an Aquarius sun, Leo rising, and a Sagittarius moon.
Yes, hold tight Sagittarius placements. Yeah.
Yes.
I
love Aquarius.
They do indeed. So as we spent about 20 minutes of the podcast sharing these things, but it's been so nice. Lex, if you want to share your extract first. So sharing your extract of either a Black essayist, lyricist, fiction writer, etc. So you can give an intro into the writer if you want, and then you can share.
Yeah, sure. So Tunde Adebimpe, he is the lead singer of a band called TV on the Radio. This is a band that I first heard while playing FIFA 12 with their track, it's called Will Do. And then this inspired me to sort of research them further. And then when I discovered that they were a band consisting of majority Black members, I was like really hooked and inspired, because I feel like it was a really rare thing to come across, especially in like experimental rock or like sort of like this sort of like, yeah, like indie rock sort of like post-punk sort of area. So for me, it was like really inspirational and made me feel like, oh yeah, I found something. So I like hooked into it. And Tunde is a multidisciplinary artist. I think he started out in animation. I think he like worked on like Celebrity Deathmatch for MTV in the 90s. And then started exploring music and like loops, and the band just basically like really blew up and took off. But yeah, really, really great band. If you don't know them, check them out. They're great. I discovered the album called Desperate Youth, Bloodthirsty Babes. And this is like definitely a top 10 album for me, like probably top 5. The opening track is called The Wrong Way. And I feel like if you would just listen to the song when the album comes on, it's really like gripping, and it would go over your head until you read the lyrics. And then I feel like it sort of blows your mind a bit. And it really takes a different form and sort of like sticks with you. So yeah, I guess I should just read the lyrics. Okay, cool. So, wake up in a magic nigger movie with the bright lights pointed at me as a metaphor, teaching folks the score about patience, understanding, agape babe, and sweet, sweet amour. When I realized where I was, did I stand up and testify? Oh, fist up signify. Or did I show off my soft shoe? Maybe teach 'em a boogaloo, busy playing the whore. Oh, loiterers united, indivisible by shame, hungry for those diamonds, severed on little severed, bloody brown hands. Oh, the bling drips. Oh, the bling drips down, falling down like the rain. I don't want to cast pearls to swine. I don't want to march peacefully. No, 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 no. New Negro politician is stirring, is stirring, is stirring inside me. No, there's nothing inside me but an angry heart beat. Can you feel this heartbeat? Oh, fear, we're falling off. Oh, terror, we're pained. Oh, hunger, we're starved off. Roasted vermin sustain. This shit will have to sustain. Shooting doves from off balconies, they want to shackle the lame. By now you know their game. Little Nina Arose went to stand by her payphone, waited for a caller to ring, said, ask me anything. I just asked for her. I just asked for her say so. And with permission, I'm gonna take liberty. And I'm telling you to take it too, because it's right there in front of you. Hey, desperate youth. Oh, bloodthirsty babes. Oh, your guns are pointed. Your guns are pointed the wrong way. Your guns are pointed the wrong way. And that's it.
Wow. Yeah, clicks.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that just in general, like for me, I feel like as I said, when you first hear the song, I think like there's like little motif words that stick out to you, but like you don't really get what the song's about, you know, because it's like it's a nice song, it's a groovy song, it's really impactful, it's a great way to open an album. Once you sort of like read it with the lyrics. And I think like for me, especially, I guess like my course with the song has changed a lot over the years of knowing the band, you know, because I think at first it really felt like a song that I could associate with like being free in some way, you know. But then I feel like, especially working through the music industry and sort of like understanding what the entertainment industry is, and working in countries like Germany or like Switzerland, where they're like majority white, like I definitely feel like this song over the years has taken like a different form and meaning to me. And I think like the thing that I really like about it is that I get the feeling that it's sort of like the narrating their way through different forms of Black stereotype. And the song is sort of like touching on this idea of like the white culture's misunderstanding of Black culture as well, and sort of like the non-acceptance of this, but also the stereotyping of Black artists. And yeah, it lists quite a few of these stereotypes and the acceptable roles for sort of like Black entertainers, you know, like, oh, maybe I'll do a boogaloo and like all of these sorts of things, you know. And I feel like the narrator of the song rejects these identities and chooses to take on like a more political one, but one that isn't peaceful, you know. So sort of like trying to like then by the end of the song, it's sort of like encouraging this radical stance where it's like that the desperate youths and the bloodthirsty babes, that their energy, they have like a powerful weapon, and if they're not like destroying themselves inside of these stereotypes, like the narrator sort of calls for them to turn their guns the other way, you know, and sort of like, yeah, look outwards. So yeah, that's what I love about this excerpt and the song.
Yeah, because definitely I feel like the opening line already is just like so striking. It's really like, oh, okay, damn. And then I don't know, I think what I got from it was sort of like divine rage, but also like comedy. It's sort of like turning that rage into like, well, we're just gonna twist things on its head. We're gonna just like say all of the things, say all of the stereotypes. That's what you think I am, but like I'm just gonna laugh and just do what I'm doing anyway, you know?
And like, I guess like something that you've said there that like really has started resonated with me a lot recently is like the whole idea of sort of like Black surrealism, you know, where it's sort of like, it's surreal because it's the everyday, you know, and the everyday shouldn't be like this. But in some way it's like, also, yeah, it's like listing off these things that are there, but I'm just going to do what I want and express the way that I want to express. And it's part of my being, you know? So like what you said just then resonated with me so much, because I definitely feel like there is a comedy to it, you know, like, because in some way, sometimes all you can do is laugh. Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes the best way to cope about it, or to turn it on its head, you know? So.
No, definitely. So yeah, I think that's that whole thing of like holding on to what we know how to do, you know. I think if there's anything that Black people know how to do, is to turn things into a joke. And yeah, still using that as like a political tool as well, which is like really interesting. And we were gonna share our extracts, but I feel like maybe we can share at the end, but we can sort of lean into the first question, because yeah, it seems like this band also has so much resonance to you, and I sort of that leads into the first question of like, who is holding you tight for you to grow, you know? So whether it be
yeah, we can start with that one, and then
yeah, you were like looking, yes, that wasn't the first question.
I think it's a very good one to start with.
Okay.
Who is holding you tight for you to grow?
I guess like, I think that the most amount of growth that I've done has come through my relationship with Laura. And like, I think that having someone that is someone that is a constant, and someone that is like, understands me for me, like beyond perhaps the spectacle or the performance or the person that a lot of people maybe encounter in like the entertainment side of things. Someone that sort of really understands and appreciates all of my nuances and my not failures, but like my, like, I don't know, like sort of like my ups and my downs, you know? Someone who has seen all of it and understands it and still encourages me to be the best version of me. I think like I'm eternally grateful for. I really don't think that I would be in the place that I am, achieving the things that I'm achieving, without this person. So, and I feel like we also go through like our ups and downs, just like in our relationship, and just like there's a lot of things changing, like with becoming parents and health conditions, and there's a lot of like nuances and things that are changing over time. But I think that the thing that I really appreciate is that we're not scared to work it out and talk about it and open up the channels and sort of like, yeah, just talk about things. That's one thing that I've really appreciated. Like someone who's not like worried to tell me where I've messed up, you know, and is really honest with me about how it makes them feel and what they think I could maybe be doing better. So
yeah, I liked how you brought up, you know, one, not only accepting you know, all the nuances of the self, but also when it comes to change and accepting and moving and flowing with and through change. Because I think sometimes when people think about holding someone tight, people can think of it as like a restriction, as if there's no room to change or grow. But holding tight is also like holding and allowing space for all of that change to happen. And so it's really beautiful that you say that, and how much that can change through one relationship, you know. Like now you have like a little one and you're like navigating that together as well, and that is also gonna help you to grow and to transform too.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like, yeah, I agree. And I think that yeah, because like that room, like giving the room and giving the space allows for like sort of like the messy process of change to happen, you know. Like not sort of like restricting and trying to clean everything up all the time and make sure like it's like giving space for these imperfections to sort of like work out. And yeah, because I think like one thing I've definitely learned over these past years is that like, I don't know, change is messy, you know. It's never like a real pristine, clean process that happens really quickly. You know, I feel like I like to think that I can make a change instantly and it would be like really easy to do, but it's not. And there's things that I'm still struggling with that are in the process, you know. So yeah, I'm really grateful for just Laura being Laura and really like being supportive of me. And I try my best to do the same.
Beautiful. I think it's a beautiful moment to ask the first question, but it's now the second question.
Yeah.
What is it again?
Who was waiting for you to be born?
Who was waiting for you to be born?
Who was waiting for me to be born? Okay, so my mum and dad, called Roz and Rob, they were living with my nan and granddad on my mum's side at the time. My nan is called Anne-Marie, and my granddad is called Raphael, but also Eric. I don't know, just one of those Caribbean things. Like he was known as Raphael in St. Lucia and then moved to England and decided to be Eric.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Always the way.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, cool. Like Raphael's a pretty sick name, but whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so and then I guess like my dad has quite a few siblings, but I don't think he was the first to have a child on his side of the family. I don't think my mum was either. But either way, I think I was quite spoilt when I arrived. Just the fact that I feel like I've seen in pictures that like my mum and dad are quite social and they've had like quite a lot of friends for a long time. So I think like there was a lot of people sort of expecting me from there as well. I definitely feel like one of the things I remember from my youth is just like parties, like house parties, gatherings, barbecues, all of that stuff. I feel like some of the earliest memories that I have isn't like being there, but it's more so the the smell of like certain people's aftershave. It's like I feel like I can look at a photo where I'm like, I'm too young to remember what this is or where I am, but I can smell the photo, if that makes sense, you know? So yeah, I think like there was like quite a wide group, and I think I'm really, I definitely see where like my affinity to social situations has come from. You know, I feel like I can hold a room, I guess, in some way, or I can engage with people in a room good enough. So yeah, I think that's who was waiting for me to be born, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because this whole thing of like nostalgia through the senses and like this sense of culture and holding space and being in communion, do you feel like that also sort of like translates to your practice as well? That do you feel like when you say holding space in that room and for people, that kind of ties into how you perform?
I think at first when I started performing, I think it was definitely more so in the celebratory party sense of like, I want to hold a space where people can let go, you know, and somewhere, yeah, it's like there's no better feeling than like doing some music, looking up and seeing like a room full of dancing people, you know, where they're sort of like losing control in some way. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it feels really, really nice. But I think that through the relationships and experiences that I've had, and I think it's more so gravitated towards just holding space for people. So like, I think that not everything has to be like high energy. And I don't think that like, it always has to be like a sort of give and take in some way, you know? Because I think that before it was like, I would definitely give a lot of myself on stage to the point of sort of like exhaustion in some way, or like I'd be like out of breath and all of this stuff. And then it's like, I'm taking back the energy from the crowd, and that also gives me a buzz, and there's this sort of like exchange in that way. And I think for me now, I think I want my practice to focus on more so more so it being a, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I guess a softer space. Like, this is something that I would like to achieve. Something where there's like, perhaps the energy of the music is a combination of like groovy drums and like things that sort of like maybe want you to like maybe get your cogs whirling in your brain, but also combined with like relaxation and yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting. I feel like so I'm quite like a visual person. Like when you talk about these like barbecues and socials when you were younger, and also like the atmosphere that you create when you're performing as well, it almost feels like, because live performance is so specific, it's almost like you're recreating or creating a culture and that space. It's almost recreating what you have in those moments when you have your barbecues and people come and like, you know, maybe there's someone that's sparking a spliff or someone that's drinking or someone that's in the corner that's just like bobbing their head, and other people that are in that room like full on dancing, you know, but there's that exchange of like, this is a space that I want you to have, and like, let's just come and like be together in that space, you know?
Yeah, exactly, with no expectations of how to participate in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like definitely I agree with what you're saying, and that's
yeah, because yeah, I think that also comes into holding a softer space for people, because maybe people were waiting for that, you know, like just that soft space to like release through music, you know.
But also going back to the initial question that was who's holding you tight for you to grow. I was thinking just now that also how do you hold yourself for you to grow in relation to what you were saying, and like with the mutation of your practice, initially very much like give and take, and now you're moving towards a softer gesture of a touch, more meditative, the creation of more meditative spaces, being together in different ways, in ways maybe that were different from what you initially learned in social environment at home, with family and friends, you know. And as you become more and more, I don't know, like as you outgrow yourself as well, no? We like we have a vision of like who we become, and then you actually like pour out of that, no? And how do you make space for you? How you make space for yourself by also having other people holding space for you, and like, you know, how everything is intertwined, and messy and sticky, and out of these like bubbles of moments pop and explode, and then you move on to another one, and actually that one didn't like completely popped, and so it's just like I was thinking of a bubble bath.
I don't know, like I would also, but then this is what I mean, like I don't know, I love that sort of like idea of like an image, because like I don't know, like I would love to hold a space where like I would love to do a concert in like a spa, or like, do you know what I mean, like somewhere where people could just like hang out in a bubble bath, and like, do you know what I mean, like just these really like unconventional spaces where like music, maybe live musical performance isn't meant to happen, you know. But like I really like this idea of like, I don't know, sharing baths and like, I don't know. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice.
it's so fantastic. I will be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Like,
And I wanted to say that I think it's also very, what I find it very extraordinary to be in proximity to you, because from what you said and from what I understand of your practice, you're coming from live arts. And you also had a detour, having a detour in visual arts with more curatorial practices, and how I'm very much excited and it's not even like for lack of a better word, I'm very excited for you to have an impact on curatorial approaches, curatorial discourses, practices in general, because I think you're such a brilliant being. And as you were saying, multidisciplinary artist at the beginning when you introduced yourself, for me, I very much have a vision of you, or a perception of you as someone that do not have disciplines, or you like very much troubling disciplines when you're in it, because you're such an expensive you have such an expansive mind.
Aquarius sun.
I love Aquarius.
Yeah. No.
Thank you. I guess I'll start off with thank you.
Welcome.
I guess like I think I'm also really excited because I started the year. I feel like I start near enough every year without a plan, and usually like I end up somewhere that is completely unexpected. Like I didn't really expect to sort of like start exploring curatorial practices and like engaging with public art, and I think that for me, like my priority in all of this is sort of like amplifying voices, because I think that one of the thing that is just like lacking in art, music, across different disciplines, genres, is just a diversity of voices. And I think like the more minds that can be brought in, and the more voices and the more perspectives, then this is just gonna propel some places that feel pretty stagnant right now, you know? And I think it's just like a case of bringing in the voices and the perspectives and the people and giving them the opportunities and sharing them. So yeah, I think that's really important, and that's my priority with my curatorial.
And you
ideas.
already, in a way, already answering the last question.
Yeah,
huh?
I was just thinking that, like, oh, that leads perfectly, seamlessly, I would say, into the final question of how to create loving environments in the arts too.
How to create loving environments. That's a good question. I think like the inside of the arts, I think there's too much of a priority on perfection and like big words and like sort of like all of these texts that don't make any sense and like sort of like perfectly painted and like white walls, and like I think it's all just and like I think love isn't perfect, and I think that to create an environment that is loving and caring, it needs to have all aspects and portray and show all sides. And yeah, I think that that is really important. And I think, yeah, as I said, I think that ties into like the people that are participating in art, the people that the art is shown to and shared with, the communities that it's reached out to. And yeah, I think that there just needs to be this really big shift in art spaces making efforts to connect to connect with different communities, different places, different people, connect intersectionally, I think, and that is really, really important.
No, definitely. I feel like what you were saying about things to do with love and who you want to connect with, I was thinking of like, yeah, like how can we institutionalize feelings and like institutionalize and like restrict just feeling and emotion and life, and this like what we've talked about, stickiness and messiness and evolution and change and turbulence. How does one fit that within pristine white walls, you know? Like how do we make it like a little bit messier, just so that we understand that like we are just all messy. Everybody is messy. Institutions are messy, obviously. They're the messiest.
Exactly.
You know, you're painting your walls white, but like let's just be honest for a second. So I definitely feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that I think that you did so I think you said how do we institutionalize feelings, but it's more like that there is feelings and emotions that are constantly in motions, and they are weapons or tools, no? Resistance tools to actually deinstitutionalize those spaces. And those spaces are like, oh, I'm rigid, like I'm an institution, I stand for like all those craft stuff and those big words, like as if I really like to imagine them with their many flags that they try to wave at us, but like it's not about waving your flags, it's about like doing the work, and it's actually about letting us do the work.
Like as in like sometimes you need to just like relieve yourself from the position of power and like allow someone else to contribute their perspectives and their ideas. So I completely agree. I
think you said something that was very inspiring to me, in the line of you know, like allowing or holding space or having this bubble of space where complexity, multiplicity, multiple voices can be welcomed and catered for and cared for. who can be cared for, which is really important, because ultimately it's not about like a revolution in the etymological sense of it, like, okay, white people have so much power in the arts, so let's make it like that Black people have so much power in the arts. Not, for me, it's not about that. It's about understanding that there is nowhere where we can go in a healthy way. It's about health in a healthy way if we still in this supremacist mentality. It's not about one being on top of the other, from my perspective.
Lol. But yeah, because I think that ties into what Hang was saying about about the conversation and the relationship. So it's like when we're focusing on the core of it, which is the heart and the relationship and how we connect with one another, then there's no way that can be, well, I don't think anyway, there's no way that can be supremacist ways of thinking, because we're allowing ourselves to just like be on equal footing with one another, you know?
With equity. With equity. Anyway, shall I share my reading?
Yes, please.
Sure.
I have so much in my head, Hank, because I'm thinking about all the incredible things you said. So it's gonna have a different resonance now that I'm thinking about. It's in French. Trigger warnings. It's from a book called Tissé by Harimanana.
We can also type up all
it will be typed up. This is a person born in 1967 at Antananarivo in Madagascar. And this is actually like my favorite book in the world, because I have so many obsessions, and this is my obsession of the summer. So, ainsi, enfant mort-né de cette île, enfant mort-né de ce continent, je ne suis pas, je suis. Je ne vis pas, je vis. Je n'existe pas, j'existe. Je suis la harde sur le dos de l'ombre. Je suis l'ombre dans le pli des obscurs. Je suis la harde sur le dos de l'ombre. Je suis l'ombre dans le pli des obscurs. Je suis de la horde des voleurs de songes. Je suis de la horde des ripailleurs de voix. Je suis de la horde des orpailleurs d'histoire. Je suis, je ne suis pas. Both of you have no idea, but it's like such a banging echo to what you said, Hank, during this conversation. So I'm gonna have to translate it just for you.
Okay, please.
Cool. And I will share my extract. Where is it? So this is from a book of essays called The Undercommons by Stefano Hani and Fred Moten. And I use this extract in a film that we created recently because I thought it really resonated. It was about like representation politics, but also like that it kind of, I don't know, there's lots of things that I could think about of like how it's not relevant, or how like we're sort of past it, and how we can be thinking in a more expansive way. So I'm going to find the start of the thing. Okay, so you are always already in the thing that you call for and that calls you. What's more, the call is always a call to disorder, and this disorder or wildness shows up in many places, in jazz, in improvisation, in noise. The disordered sounds that we refer to as cacophony will always be cast as extra musical, as Moten puts it, precisely because we hear something in them that reminds us that our desire for harmony is arbitrary. So I feel like that also, especially like with this reference to music, with this reference to something that goes beyond what our rational minds can like put a finger on, sort of thing. And especially as like Black people or diasporic people, we are like sometimes sitting in wildness, or our core and our depths are in something that is so beyond here that we can't really put to words, and instead we put it into music and into noise because it doesn't necessarily make sense in this realm, but like it resonates, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like I
No, go on.
That really makes sense, and I love the concept of this and sort of like what that means, you know, to like as like it really struck me, like the desire for harmony, or like the association to harmony or whatever, and how this is arbitrary, you know, because like I think it's similar to like what I was saying before. I feel like as an artist, it's really easy to get caught up in the idea of perfection, you know, and like I really like this whole sort of like, yeah, this idea that we're not perfect, and you know, like we're allowed to have these different aspects that all move and shape in different ways, of self, of sound, of like visuals, of everything, you know, like things are allowed to be jarring in some way, you know, and yeah, if anything, we should like be exploring this more, like in every sense of, I think like sometimes it's like it's a really good practice to like just sometimes inside of your practice just make something purposefully jarring, you know. It's like good to try and I want to do it more, so I'm inspired.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna like carry around a metaphorical hammer all the time when I'm thinking about my practice. If I'm in the studio and I'm like, okay, if I want this to be perfect, now I'm gonna get a hammer and I'm gonna just smash it all. And then how do those like fragmented pieces look, and how do I use that instead of this like picture packaged perfectly thing that we want to create, but actually the noise is like the perfect part, you know.
Beautiful. I was going to say, before going on another high with you two speaking, we are just in time. We are about just in time. I think we should stop recording.
What a poetic way to put it.
Wait, everybody.
Wait. No, but we can wrap up by saying thank you, Hang, for joining us today. It's been really, really nice, like having a conversation. I feel like you've given me at least like 2 spoons to carry through my day, you know. And yeah, it's been like a really inspiring talk, and I've found some like levels of connections between all of us, and it's been really nice, so thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I also feel the same, so like and my migraine's gone. So
yes,
there you go.
I always said it, B.O.O.K stands for healing.
Exhale. Let it out.
Hey, I'm really proud of you. I know that saying this stuff isn't easy, and how easy it is to avoid it. And I also know that this isn't the end. It's just the beginning, to be honest. Because love is work. Intimacy is work, and we have to keep showing up, being honest and courageous and intentional every single day. And obviously there'll be days when you have to choose survival over truth, but ultimately you're on the right path, and you have to forgive yourself and just keep breathing.
Sweet summer fire, boiling water.